Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Sheets, and we're going to try to do this without it being too much of a train wreck. We have 4 sports to deal with tonight. We have the MLB World Series slate, the showdown slate there, obviously. We have the NHL slate, which is a pretty full slate. We have the NBA slate, which is a very full slate. And we have the showdown NFL slate to deal with also. And we have to do all of this by 7. We have an hour and a half to get through this. So what I've decided that I'm going to do is I'm going to do it in this order. The last thing I'm going to do is the NBA, because the NBA, the late news can come in, much later on in the process. So what I'm aiming for is for 6:30 to do to do the NBA. And then probably the first thing I'll do is MLB. It's a little less, news intensive. So do MLB, then we'll do probably hockey, and then we'll do NFL, and then we'll do MLB. So you got second in something, TJ? That's excellent. That's really, really big. That's good news. Ridley, let's go. Excellent. All right. So I guess what I want to do is, well, let's just start with this. All right, so that's good. Let me share my screen, and we're just going to kind of just get rolling here. Okay. Entire screen. Boom. Okay. So let's start with MLB. And first, we're going to make sure I have the projections in here that I want. What happened to my projections? Dang it. We could use the SaberSim ones. It's for Showdown. It's not a big deal, but I would prefer to use the ones that I did. So let's use these. That's weird. I thought I would save it from when I did it on my other computer. Oh, this is, why is it not? Very odd. Oh, it's going into here? Well, that's ridiculous. All right. All right. So we'll use the SaberSim ones. It doesn't make too much of a difference. First, I want to do a kind of a sanity check to make sure that these projections are kind of fine, and they're fine. I mean, look at the difference between them all. They're like 2 points. It's really Showdown in baseball is just kind of all about using the sims right and lineup construction. So you'll see that I did put the my contests in here already, which is going to help us quite a bit. The other thing, you have to remember about the World Series, like all playoff games. Oh, I know what I did. I did this in the TrueDFS place. Okay, that's okay. Is that all the relievers are in play, and nobody has a leash of any kind. And I mean, especially the Yankees here. I mean, if Schmidt is struggling literally at all, I mean, he's going to be out of there. I mean, they're down 2-0, and it's all hands on deck. And likewise for the Dodgers. I mean, it's not as if they're going to let Buehler struggle either. So let's just let's see what we come up with. Now, again, I've had a lot of luck with showdowns. We took the big one down on Friday for 50,000, which is kind of insane. And I don't really leave money on the table or whatever. I literally just kind of like let the Sims kind of do their thing here. So if you want, you could see what we would probably get to. I mean, a lot of 5-1s from the Yankees. Actually, that's not true. Actually, this is actually kind of cool when you look at it. A whole bunch of 5-1s. No, there are some 4-2s also. So there's no real. there's no real lean one way or the other. Yeah, thanks, Carmen. So lucky. Yeah, I mean, you got to be, but they pinch ran for Lux, and Lux scored on the Freeman home, and Lux would have scored on the Freeman grand slam if he were in the game, and that would have had me lose. But they pinch ran for him, which is insane. I mean, it was a good plan, but insane that I won. All right, so we ran the Sims, and we're gonna just put this on autofill. But before we do that, let's just see what we're getting here. And I was getting this earlier. Boy, a whole bunch of Bueller in the captain. That's like really scary, honestly. Boy, oh boy. I mean, considering he doesn't have too much of a leash, that's really tough. Maybe he'll be low owned as a result. Let's do some stuff with the min uniques then. Let's see if we can't go min uniques 2 or 3 without drilling our ROI here. All right, that's probably enough. All right, so we're going to autofill. And again, we're ranking these by fee, by line entry fee, so that if there's a tie between, if a line is supposed to go with all 3 contests, that will will prioritize the biggest buy-in. Now, it's interesting. Before I do this, to take a look at how much of the relievers I'm getting, and under exposure here, yeah, I'm getting some like Canale, Hudson. Yeah, I'm getting quite a bit of them. So we're going to roll with that. Oh, and by the way, the 150,000, I mean, we did that live here. I mean, you saw me do this exact process. And then, you just got to just put your hands into the gods, the hands of the baseball gods, I guess. I did not play any pinch hitters, if that means anything. I just didn't think it was worth it to take that kind of a gamble. And it's not as if any of these contests are particularly, they're not like that. What was I going to say? It's not as if they have like 200,000 people in them. So while this is going on, I am going to run, because I now have a couple of extra minutes. So I'm going to run my NBA projections as I have them now, so that at least I can speak somewhat intelligently about them when we get to it. And I don't know if you noticed, but Bogdan Bogdanovic was out, which is why all these Atlanta guys are going to be popping here. Capella, Larry Nance Jr., among others. DeAndre Hunter is in, so obviously that's going to help him as well, because it's Bogdanovic and somebody else, right? And Okongwu, right? So basically, as we'll get to the NBA in a little bit, but anybody that's over 6'5" that plays for the Hawks is in play. And I don't know if Capella is going to be able to play, 32 minutes or so. So there's going to be minutes to go around. Like Jalen Williams will probably get some more. But the Larry Nance Jr. one, I didn't even know he was on Atlanta. And he's always been a very good, backup center for DFS. I mean, as long as I can remember. So let me just, before I do this, let me just upload the projections for NBA as I have them now, and then I could focus. NBA and again, we're probably going to have to redo them all as we get closer to lock, but just so we have something in here. Okay. All right, let's take a look now at, funny that you mentioned that, K9, because we are going to do NHL. Should we do that now? Yeah, we'll do NHL now and get that out of the way. And then we will do the then football, and then basketball. All right, so let's take a look. Now, again, this is the way I look at hockey. Okay, so here are my sheets, and I don't show them all the time here, but I first just literally look at the players, and I look at this sheet here, and see what I think I would get to. Okay, so what we're looking for is just guys that are like rated up here that are from the same line, if we can. So McKinnon, for example, McKinnon and Makar, if we can get to them, it's very expensive. They rate well. McDavid and Bouchard, part of the same line. That's pretty good. Matthews doesn't really pair with anybody. Winnipeg, boy, this is tough. Maybe this Carolina. Oh, Carolina is probably good value here, right? With it's the power play line of Jarvis, Necas, Svechnikov. So that's probably pretty good. And sometimes when I see them, really, really up here and very obvious, I won't even run anything with SaberSim. I'll just kind of hand build everything, but I don't think it's necessary today. The other thing I'll notice is there's not a lot of value here. Like the top value guy I have is all the way down here, and that would be Pavel Dorofiev, whatever. He's at 4,300. He's probably going to look okay, and he's just not. He's on the second line though. He's not even on the first power play line. You can't really pair him with anybody, but he might show up in a decent one-off. So what else? More Carolina. There's Aho. So I would say this power play out of Aho, Necas, Jarvis, and Svechnikov would be the one that I would hand build. And if you didn't get to them, maybe kind of force those in. As far as goalies go, I mean, nobody really rates that well today. You just go for the cheapest goalies, like Stolarz, Toronto. He looks reasonable enough. But let's just go through the process. Let's use the new SaberSim. And is this hockey? Yeah. And just let it do its thing. I don't think it's particularly different than what I did before. So first things first, I uploaded my entry file. And if you want to see how to do that again, just real quick. So let's say this wasn't done. You would click here, upload, and then download file from DraftKings, and automatically it just kind of reaches into DraftKings and downloads into your download folder, wherever you keep that. And then you could just fire that up here. And we will overwrite these. And then we will come back to, we'll call this build 2, I guess. Oh, wait. What happened to my projections? Oh, I didn't put them in yet. Yeah, there it is. All right, so we just use build 1 is fine. So upload CSV. NHL. Now, if you were on SaberSim, I mean TrueDFS with a SaberSim package, it would automatically be preloaded into SaberSim. See, I clicked exclude unlisted players. This way, I'm only getting the guys that I had projected, which it's probably a good idea. Sometimes it isn't. Like in baseball, you don't want to do that because you want to access the relievers, and my projections are never going to project the relievers. But SaberSim will put something on there, and you probably should use them. So also in Showdown NFL, what I do is I keep a kind of like a minimum threshold of how many project points I will require to project somebody. But for Showdown, you should be probably a little more liberal about what guys to play. So even if I don't have a guy projected more than 3 points, if somebody's projected for 2 points and they're really cheap, you probably want to sprinkle them in the big MMA tournaments. Okay, so I'm curious how much of the Carolinas we get. So first of all, we built the 5,000 lineups, and you're already now at a tipping point here. Do we want to even sim, or do we want to just be happy with what we have? So right now, Yeah, I do use fantasy points for showdown. You got to start with somewhere. Start with something, but it's not as important. So as you'll see, like all kinds of these Carolina guys. Okay. So if you wanted to, you could go on to the next step and then just kind of put these in, or you can go the sim model and run the sims. But in either case, what you want to do is this. What I like to do is go into stack exposure and see what type of stacks we're getting and whether I want to minimum points for showdown. I do when I do the projections. That's the thing. So I'm not going to sim those cheap guys. I'm not going to protect those cheap guys. I have to rely on SaberSim for those. Um, okay. So we have to decide which of these stacks we're going to want. Like I don't want any 4 zeros. So I will X that out. I don't want any 4 twos. I don't want any 5 zeros or 3 2 twos or 3 twos or 4 2 twos. So I will apply this and X out all of those stacks before I even get going. 3 3, no 3 3 twos, no threes. And then there's a 2 2 2, which is interesting. It really wants me to play these, but so at this point, I could just put all these in. Okay. And what that would look like is, let's look at some of the exposures here. So for team stacks, we'd be getting 39% Colorado, it looks like. Actually, 39% San Jose, 40% Colorado, 24% Chicago. But let's look at like the 5-mans, for example. So we'd be getting pretty decent sprinkle of all of these. 4-man stack. Oh boy, a lot of San Jose, huh? A lot of San Jose. That's very interesting. Maybe that's getting different enough that I could just fly with that. But just for fun, let's run the Sims. What time is it? 5:47? Oh, plenty of time. We'll run the Sims and we'll see what kind of exposure that gets me. And there's no sport where you're going to have as big of a discrepancy between, well, I'll get to that in a second, between your regular builds and your sim builds than hockey. I think baseball is close. And there's a reason for that, right? I mean, they're both very event driven and very correlative. You know, like one guy scores a goal, someone's probably going to have an assist. So still like a lot of the San Jose's. Okay. So I'm kind of down with this actually to take a stand with the San Jose's. And let's just see, when is that game, by the way? But with a 2.4 total, that is pretty different, right? Unless we wanted to go again outside the role of the Sims, and we're going to use, let's just use Saber Score. And if we did that, as you remember from before, we'd be getting Colorado or Carolina. So it really depends, on your mood. Like this is like the best plays, and the other one is the best Sims. And do you have it in you? You could do half and half if you wanted to. You could go, but then you're not really being a portfolio manager. Well, I think for tonight, we're just going to go with regular SaberSim because you know what? We're looking here and you go into the large slate formula. It is dinging for ownership to some degree, and it is using the 95th percentile lineup. And let's we can do. Stack exposure looks good. Let's get rid of this 2-2-2-2. Let's go into this min uniques thing and let's at least try to get a little bit of diversification that way. So this still looks good. Still getting all this Colorado. Hey, if we can get away with it, we're freaking geniuses, right? What about the 5-mans? Mostly 5-mans for Winnipeg. For mostly Winnipeg for 5-mans. Okay, I'm down. You have it in you, K9. You want to go for all the San Jose's? Hey, Sims wants you to play it. Sims wants you to play it. I'm just saying. And this would not be the first time I busted trying to play Colorado on the road. But top shelf up here, we'll just go with this and save these. And that's the thing about hockey sims, man. You just don't know. It's and we have to obviously come back to make sure that the goalies are properly accounted for. And it's always good to just double check to make sure that these guys are all in. Lukanen, Blackwood. Okay, so the goalies look like they're in. So that's pretty good. All right. Oh, we're moving along rather nicely, actually. So let's then go to football, and we'll do both. Now, I have a couple of takes, I guess, here, I guess. So the real question is, what do you do with Tyrone Tracy? So Devin Singletary was out, and he came back last week, and yet still Tyrone Tracy got most of the work. And Tyrone Tracy's 4,400, and Devin Singletary is 8,400. So, I mean, technically, Tyrone Tracy is a lock, right? I got second in the 555 Eagles. I did pretty well, actually. So Tyrone Tracy is sort of a lock, but maybe, just maybe, Devin Singletary wasn't 100% coming back. And maybe that's why Tyrone Tracy got all the work. And maybe since they got blown out, maybe again they didn't want to push Devin Singletary, so maybe that's why Tyrone Tracy got the work. So I don't know how I feel about what's going to be extremely wide Tyrone Tracy chalk. But what we're going to do is we're going to start with the regular process, and then we're going to maybe leave money on the table or something like that, because I do want to try to get unique to some degree. But let's take a look and see what we do here. So the projections are already in. Let's rebuild the lineups and see what we come up with. Because there are certain guys I really just don't need to have in the captain, I don't think. Player status alert. Jonathan Isaac is marked out. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't even realize I had him. Okay, so and now we'll run the sims, and then after we do all this, that's when we start to have the fun. Okay, like this is like the beginning. Is when you upload your lineups in Showdown, then run this, and then you run the sims, and then is when you start to screw around. Okay, because if you just run the sims and run the top plays, I mean, you could win, but you're never going to win a lot. And that's and what's Showdown if it's not trying to win a lot? So how do we win a lot? Well, you have to either force in low ownership or leave money on the table. Okay. Now, the way to leave money on the table, obviously, is just pick some number and leave on the table. And I think there's certain degree of wisdom for that. And when it comes to getting low owned, you could force in low ownership by doing geo mean filtering, where you literally say, okay, I don't want my lineups to have more ownership than a certain thing. And the other thing I think is, I guess, mildly healthy is to take a couple of stands on some dudes. I think Darius Slayton's probably not a bad guy to take some shots on, maybe. Malik Neighbors is like the obvious play, right? So like you look here, like these are the captains are kind of who you would think I would have. So let's see if we wanted to get a little unique. How do we do that? What time is it? 5:55? Plenty of time. So let's go to the contest and see how many people are in this tournament. So there are 98,039. So what we do is we go GeoMean 98,039. Wow. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to build some lineups that leave money on the table and some that do GeoMean filtering. So you can't get too greedy. Let's say 5 dupes. So GeoMean of 19 is always kind of tough to get. So let's start with that one. So what we do is we go back into here, back into build one, and then we go filter, add new filter, GeoMean less than 19.2. Okay. And let's see what it kind of looks like. Like none of this actually looks particularly bizarre. Like I've heard of all these guys. You know, and even in the captain, you look at who I'm getting in the captain. I mean, these are like actual players. And if I can get a 19 GeoMean with all the guys that I actually know I want to play, I think that's probably what I'm supposed to do here. I think what's happening here is I'm getting under on Tracy. That's the stand that I'm taking here, and over on Singletary, which is a little bit scary. But I think that's kind of what you have to do in Showdown. Now, I could also leave some money on the table, but I think that's happening automatically. See 47.7, 47.9, whatever it is, 49.9. Can that really get somewhere? I mean, it could. Again, we already did one set of filtering. Do we really need to do others? Yeah, you know, it was a 46.6. I like that. Yeah, let's do that. Let's also do a filter. Just not much, a 49.5. Okay. I just don't want to like max salary out here. So salary less than 49,500. That is completely reasonable. Good. And it didn't really change all too much. Pickens captain. There's Daniel Jones in the flex with Wilson. Like these look like very reasonable lineups, which is a little scary. But anyway, I think we're good here. Okay, so what we're gonna do, by the way, is we're only doing this for the lottery. So this one we'll just put in just in the Showdown MME. So we'll go boom like that. What we have to do for the other ones is first we'll remove the filter. What time is it? Oh, 6 o'clock. Plenty of time. And then what we'll do is go to autofill. And we'll just play the sim lineups into these. Unique rank. Boom. Save 3 lineups. Let's make sure these are in. And maybe I have a shot here. All this money being left on the table. Who knows? Okay. Let's do FanDuel. Projections haven't really changed. So we'll just rerun these. And we may as well do the same thing, with geomean filtering. It's harder on FanDuel. As a matter of fact, you know what? Had some good luck on FanDuel. I mean, I've chopped a couple of them so far this year. Is just leaving money on the table. So let's just sim this again. And you see, I'm playing 250 lineups because I'm playing 150 of like the $3 or whatever. Okay, so then let's go back into direct fill and see what we have here. I mean, they're already leaving all this money on the table. I mean, I don't think we really need to do anything here. See, there's 60,000. Oh, so let's leave 1,000 on the table for all of them then. So we'll go to, I'll show you what happens when you try to do geomean filtering. It's literally impossible. Let's just go to salary. She's doing better, Carmen. Thank you. Less than 59,000. That should be good enough. But I only need to do that again in the lottery. So let's go just in these two. We'll play 300 unique lineups. And then we'll take the filter out for the monster. And we'll go back into autofill. Actually, we don't even need to go to autofill, but we can. We'll just put it here. Check off monster. Boom. Football. I'm not playing baseball, am I? Oh my God, I totally forgot that I did baseball lineups. So I got to go back in FanDuel. Sorry about that. Ooh, thank God I caught that. I never would have noticed. All right, so let's CSV edit. And that is now good. So now we're going to go back and do the MLB. And the reason why I'm playing the MLB, the FanDuel tonight, I never really played Baseball Showdown, but because I'll show you something here. Like you have an MVP and like a star, and it seems like really complicated to figure out who to pick to multiply by 2 as opposed to 1.5. And if it's particularly complicated, then I'm inclined to just kind of trust the Sims, you know? Because I think the Sims could do that kind of calculation better than I could. Let's upload these again from FanDuel. So I think you get a little bit of sneaky value added from SaberSim with the FanDuel Showdown. So again, same as before. Save this. And again, one extra step with FanDuel. Okay, here's the squeeze. And now we'll just build our lineups. What are we building? We can build 2,000. We're only going to use 40 of them. One second. That was 4. Okay, so same thing. We'll just run the sims. Oops. I already had them in here. Why? A little annoying. So it looks like there you go. What's this thing coming up my screen again? One second. All right, that looks pretty good. One sec. Excel is rebelling on me just a little bit. Okay. Okay, so again, we'll do the same thing we did before. We'll go min uniques until it kind of yells at us a little bit, which is fine. It's not giving us anything to go off of those. So we'll go min uniques 3. I guess that should be good. Won't even give us 20 40 lineups that way, though. So let's go back to min uniques 2, I guess. Again, we're just kind of really relying on Saberson to do this math for us. I don't think anybody's playing this. Baseball. Upload. Okay. That looks good as well. Okay, just give me 1 second if you wouldn't mind. I just want to update the NBA projections. Give me not even 5 minutes. Boy, I'm looking at these. Looking at these lineups for football. I don't know why. I'm kind of down with it though. I mean, I was really expecting to get like all kinds of nonsense. I'm getting a couple like Connor Hayward in a couple lineups or whatever. You know who's not bad is that that big dude, that big tight end from Pittsburgh. Robinson, I think. Okay, so just give me 2 minutes to update the projections in the NBA, and then we'll be ready to do that. We got left ourselves plenty of time. And again, quite a bit of. Why is everybody texting me? All right, quite a bit of stuff to do. All right, 1 sec. Shouldn't take more than a minute now. 1 second, guys. NBA. NBA DK6. All right, let's do this. All right, just give me a minute. We're going to be running NBA in about 5 minutes, everybody. Just have to finish the projections, upload them to the site, and then we'll just start running it. And actually tonight I'll show you guys the results. Ooh, there's DraftKings. DraftKings already done. I could use Pittsburgh in Survivor this week, actually. I had a couple of I have 4 entries still left, and 3 of them got through. And I'm waiting on actually I have 4 entries left, and 2 of them got through. We lost to the Jets, actually, and I'm hoping to get a third one through. That would be Pittsburgh tonight. Just one sec. That looks good. Let me upload this to the site, and then we'll be ready to attack. And unlike earlier today, I'm not going to go game by game. I'm just going to take an overall just kind of view of the slate. And then you'll see me actually build my stuff. You won't be able to see me late swap, though, but that's okay. That'll be later. Okay. Any concerns about Ohtani's shoulder? I mean, I presume he's going to play. If he's not going to play, then we'll find out about it, I guess. Okay, so let me launch my projections here. I'll show you guys what they look like. And we'll see what we should get, and then we're going to see what we actually get. All right, let's start with this FanDuel. Here is DraftKings. Okay, DraftKings first. Again, we're going to start by sorting by point per dollar, and as you'll see, these Atlanta guys are popping. You know, you have Dyson Daniels, Hunter. What happened to Nance? Did I not project Nance somehow? Ooh. So I gotta look into that one then. So what we're gonna do is, if I'm not seeing it in a projection, what you have to do is make sure you use SaberSim's which one? Let me just see if I'm getting him over here. Larry Nance Jr. Yeah, I don't know why. Interesting. Okay, we're just going to go with this for now. But Capella looks like an amazing play. Even Trey's not bad. DeAndre Hunter, Dyson Daniels, all these Atlanta guys look very, very strong. Koulibaly for Washington looks like a good point per dollar play. Sohan, as I discussed earlier, going to look like a good play. Michael Porter Jr., that could look like a good play as well. And as far as just paying up, I mean, it's Luka and Jokic. I mean, they both look fine. Oh, Hunter is now out? Well, okay. So we're going to have to deal with that. So the way I'm going to deal with that for now, and Lance is 6 up from the bottom over here. Okay. So I gotta fix all this then. I knew it'd be difficult. So what we're going to do is we're going to use SaberSims for now. Okay. And then we'll go here, and this is what we're going to do. I know what we're going to do. We'll split the difference. We're going to start with mine, and then we're just going to replace the Atlanta guys with Atlanta guys. How about that? Is that fair? I even see it right here. Look, there it is. So Hunter is in fact out. All right. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to upload and we're going to include the unlisted players. Isaac is out. Fine. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go straight to the Atlanta guys and see what's up here. So Hunter is out, so we'll get rid of that. And we're just going to change all the Atlanta guys to the SaberSim projections. There's Roddy with a 15-point projection. I see all those. We're going to change the ownerships. See, all this makes sense now. Okay. So this is all good. So we changed it to the Atlanta ones. Also, Isaac being out, let's go ahead and go to Orlando, see if there's anything that I need to deal with over there. Yeah, so let's change the Orlandos as well, just to be safe. If Isaac being out really does anything, like maybe Moritz Wagner pops somehow. One thing you can't do is reset the projection just for one team or one game. All right, we're good. All right, we're good. Rebuilding lineups, and we're ready to go. Yeah, I know that, but bongo. Okay, so again, I like to see what we would get before we run the Sims. And that would look like 100% Capella, for example. So let's run the Sims. Boom. So it's amazing that SaberSim can do this. That it really tailors like your lineups to the exact contest that you're playing because it uploads all of the data of the contest in here and has its fields already selected. It's crazy, honestly. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we are going to so here's a couple of questions that people ask me all the time. They say, do you mind if you have like 4 Atlantas or 3 Atlantas in the same lineup? Do you make any rules like that? My answer is no. I just kind of let the algorithm do its thing. I mean, if I get 4, I get 4, and that's just the way it is. But let's do the min uniques thing. So what we're going to do is you see how it says max destination 151, min destination 88. We're going to go min uniques as many as we can before these get dinged. So it's 151.88. Now it's 151.86. So still no harm, no foul. Then 150, 177. So it went down 11. That's not too bad. Let's see the next big one. Yeah, so that crashed by 20 points. So unscientifically, we're deciding that 3 min uniques is what we're going to want to do. Okay. And then we go back into autofill. And I kind of put the top, buy-in lineup at the top of this. This way, if there's a tie, that if there is a lineup that shows up in multiple sims, I'll prioritize the one where it impacts the most. So we should be all good to go. No, Karma, it's just totally just practice like anything else. You play all the sports like I play, and you just keep running this stuff and you just kind of get used to it. All right, so this is good. Download, down we go. And as you'll notice, I really didn't even see who he had, which is totally fine by me. I mean, I'm going to be late swapping anyway at some point. So we're going to do the same thing with now here's very important with the NBA, with the FanDuel, you have 2 extra games, right? Now the projections are obviously going to take that into consideration, but don't be surprised if you get much less of somebody that you were getting on DraftKings because you have other guys to choose from. Duh. All right, so let's go do the same thing. Let's not forget. Let's go back into the Atlanta guys, and when you see this reset button, all this does is it resets the projection to whatever the SaberSim one is. So this isn't 100% great, because I have not used all my projections specifically for Atlanta. But that's better than nothing. And if I do have time, I will go back and redo them. All right, so that's Atlanta. Let's go again back to Orlando to deal with Isaac being out. I mean, I had him for 17 points, even though he's been out a bunch of days. So okay, and build lineups. Okay, so same deal. We'll run the Sims. And you're getting some of these Sacramentos. Remember, I was getting all the DeMar DeRozan earlier. Curious if that's the case again. I'm getting all this. Zachariah Risacher. Oh, he's the same guy I missed yesterday on DraftKings. I won the single entry, but I just didn't play him at all. I gotta take another look at that guy, I think. All right, so we ran the Sims over here, and we'll do the same thing as before. We'll do min uniques. Just keep on blasting until we get down to a big drop. So 84. And then we're looking at this min destination ROI, see how it gets affected. 77, so it's down 6 points. And then 20 points. So we don't want that. We'll go to min uniques 3. And we do have to check this Risacher guy because he did score very well yesterday. And again, we'll put the monster up here at the top. Okay. Boom. Boom. Okay. So that's good. Let's go back to SaberSim for a second and see about this other guy from Atlanta. I just want to make sure that I at least considered him if I didn't get too much of him. Yeah, no, I mean I did consider him. I don't know if I got there. I may have actually. Let me just see if I run one more set, if that will help. NBA, DK. I'm going to run one. Oops, I screwed up. I was going to say I'm going to run one more set of projections to upload to the site. Now I'm going to go back to hockey just to make sure that all my goalies are in as well. So let's go back to NHL main. Let's see if I get a lightning bolt. And I still want to consider playing some of that San Jose business. The K9 Bronco is going to want to play. Hold on. I want to do one more. I mean, should I really play San Jose with a 2.4 total? But again, if we're going to trust the Sims, we probably should, right? I don't know. Is Colorado going to be like so chalky? Well, I think maybe what we should do. I know what I'm going to do. I have 5 man's Winnipeg, right? I'm going to see how these first bunch are going. Okay. I'm going to see how those are going. And if they are Jalen Johnson, hang on. I just want to see what other Atlanta guys I'm getting. I'm getting all these Atlantas. There's Larry Nance. Then maybe I'll change them. Okay, so guess what, guys? I am going to, just for funsies, I'm going to rerun everything for you guys. I just reran all the projections with all my Atlanta guys, and not just relying on SaberSim. And that's was one of the good things about me not knowing who I have, is that if I change something, I'm not going to have any regrets of changing it from one thing to another, because I really literally don't even remember what I had in the first place. So let me just do this, and you'll get to see one more time me run the whole set of exercises. That one's interesting. Hang on. There was a little bit of a mystery here. This is projection hell, because when you have the NBA, for whatever reason, has a lot of guys that are juniors and the seconds and whatever, and for whatever reason, FanDuel doesn't put the juniors in. Like like Wendell Carter is Wendell Carter on FanDuel, but Wendell Carter Jr. on DraftKings, and pretty much for all the juniors. So sometimes the FanDuel guys won't show up on FanDuel, which is kind of weird, right? So hang on, let me just see something. Bogdan, no good. DeAndre Hunter is out. Daniels. There's Zachary. Okay, so let me upload these. Reacher is a forward. I mean, he projects pretty well. So we're going to run these again. And we're going to do this all over again. It shouldn't take more than 10 minutes. So if you missed the first ones, you're going to do it again. Okay, so we'll go once again, NBA. Now, the good thing is the contests are already preloaded. We don't have to do anything else. So all we have to do is rerun everything with new projections. So upload. And again, I'm using my own, but it should repopulate to SaberSim for you if you have a SaberSim subscription here. Okay, so in we go. Yeah, I won the single entry last night because I had some other guy, Hawkins, who outscored this guy from Resacher by like 3 points, and everybody else had Resacher. And so I think I got kind of lucky. So we'll show you guys what I'm kind of getting to here. Stays. Let me just see. Let me see if before I ran. Oh, I already ran everything. So again, 100% Capella without making any changes, and there it is. All this Resacher. Okay. Resacher and so it really wants me now to get all this Atlanta. So we'll run the Sims, and we'll try to get a little different by going min unique, by increasing the min uniques. So again, the min destination ROI 68.9. We'll go min uniques 2. Let's see how it affects it. So that's 67. Oh, almost not at all. And then 59, it's down 8. That's no big deal. And then here, down 24. That might be a big deal. Let's see if I can get away with one more. I doubt it. Yeah, that crashed. So let's go back to Min Uniques 4. And we're getting all this Atlanta, but I think that's fine. We're getting pretty different with our Min Uniques at least. We'll keep this order the same. Save these to contests. Good. Download. Stays? Yeah. I can be ready in like 10 minutes, by the way. Oh, I can eat, I'm saying. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Oh, I didn't know when. Okay. Okay. And then we'll go back into FanDuel. Same thing. Everything else stayed the same. And so it looks as though the good news is the slate's going to be over pretty quickly for me. It's 7, it's a 7:30 game, and we have all the Atlantas. I mean, Bogdan and Hunter out, I guess, and Okongwu out. I mean, it's a lot of guys. It's three guys that were playing a bunch of minutes. That usage has to go somewhere. Those minutes have to go somewhere. Okay, we'll go right back to the Sims again. And not surprisingly, 99% Researcher. Hope you're reading good things, Lathon. And Patrick Williams also is showing up as a good play on FanDuel. He never seems to have the upside, but he always plays like a bunch of minutes. All right, so same thing as before. Let's go. Go back into direct fill so we could mess with the min uniques. So we're looking again at min destination ROI 94.8, now 90, and now 78. That's down 12, not the end of the world. 47. That's rough. And there's no way I can get to min 4. 5 is going to crash. Yeah, so maybe let's get pretty unique. Over 200 lineups. Yeah, let's do it. Why not? Min unique 4. Put the monster at the top. We should be good to go. Upload here. NBA, we should be good. Edit lineup. Actually, not edit lineup. We want to edit the whole CSV. And that should be about it. So not too bad, huh? 1 hour for sports. Again, it's possible someone gets ruled out in the next 10 minutes, but aside from that, I think we did well. All right, so 4 things to sweat. Hopefully something good happens.